For weeks she kept seeing the signs, numbers repeating on clocks, a stranger's words echoing her thoughts, a dream so vivid it lingered into daylight. Every time she pondered her purpose, the universe seemed to answer. Was it coincidence, or was something deeper unfolding? Beneath the surface of your every breath, beyond the noise of your waking mind, lies a realm so potent it shapes your reality before you even glimpse its design. This is your subconscious mind, a silent symphony, a hidden tide, a vast cathedral of unseen forces echoing with the whispers of your soul. For thousands of years, seekers have turned toward it, shamans gazing into fires, philosophers peering into the self, scientists mapping its mysteries. Today, we step into that sacred space together, not as bystanders, but as architects of a power waiting to awaken. In the next few minutes, we'll explore 3 transformative steps to develop a powerful subconscious mind. Steps that weave the threads of ancient wisdom, modern discovery, and your own untapped potential into a journey that could redefine who you are. Why does this matter? Because your subconscious isn't just a repository of habits or a graveyard of forgotten moments. It's the root of your beliefs, the pulse of your emotions, the unseen hand steering your life's course. It's the difference between drifting through existence and standing at the helm of your destiny. What unfolds here draws from the shadowed insights of Carl Jung, the unyielding spirit of Viktor Frankl, the timeless stillness of Lao Tzu, the resilience of the Stoics, and the revelations of neuroscience, not as distant ideas, but as a living, breathing experience you can touch. This isn't a fleeting lesson. It's an invitation to unlock a force that's been humming beneath your surface since the day you were born. Let's begin. The first step is awareness, piercing the veil of the invisible. Picture your mind as a sprawling primal forest, its canopy stretching beyond sight. The conscious mind is the sun-dappled path you tread daily, where you plan, reason, and react. But the subconscious, it's the tangled undergrowth, alive with roots and shadows, whispering secrets you've never paused to hear. Carl Jung, the Swiss sage who charted the psyche's depths, named it the collective unconscious, a reservoir of archetypes and instincts, a hidden web linking your story to the human saga. He believed that to overlook it was to live half-blind, stumbling through a fog of reactions we don't comprehend. And yet, how often do we rush past it? We drown in the clamor of schedules, screens, and fleeting distractions, never asking, what stirs beneath my surface? What unseen currents pull me along? Science shines a stark light here. Studies reveal that 95% of our choices, our fears, our hopes, our quiet compulsions, spring from the subconscious. That argument you can't escape, that ambition you chase yet sabotage. It's not random chaos. It's a script written in the soft clay of your deepest mind by hands you didn't see. So how do you awaken to it? You begin by watching. Not with criticism or haste, but with the patience of a river carving stone. The next time anger flares or doubt coils in your chest, pause. Breathe deep. Ask, where did this rise from? What story, what echo from my past, scripted this moment? This isn't about seizing control, it's about illumination, like a lantern lifted high in that shadowed wood, revealing paths you never knew were there. Let's root this in a tale from the past. In 1880s Vienna, Sigmund Freud sat across from a woman named Anna O., a soul tormented by ailments she couldn't name, paralysis that crept up her arms, visions that blurred her days, grief that choked her voice. Through hypnosis, Freud uncovered memories she'd buried, traumas so deep they'd slipped from her grasp, yet they held her life in their grip. He called the subconscious a cauldron of seething excitations, a restless tide beneath her calm facade. For Anna, awareness wasn't a cure, it was a mirror reflecting what she'd never faced. And so it is for you. What shadows dance in your forest, what scripts murmur in your silence. To see them isn't to conquer them, it's to know them, and in knowing you begin to shift. But awareness is merely the spark, the kindling of a greater fire. The second step is reprogramming, tending the garden of your being. Imagine your subconscious as a fertile plain, rich and waiting. Across your years, it's been sown with seeds, some by loving hands, others by careless words or silent wounds. Perhaps a teacher once said you'd never amount to much, or a fleeting failure branded you unworthy. Those seeds took root, sprouting as doubts, habits, or beliefs you now mistake for your nature. But here's the truth that sets you free. You're not chained to that harvest. You're the gardener, and the soil still hums with life, eager for new planting. This wisdom isn't modern, it's ancient, reborn through time. In the early 20th century, a French pharmacist named Émile Coué stumbled upon a revelation that shook the skeptics. He gave his patients a simple phrase to whisper daily: "Every day, in every way, I am getting better and better." The medical elite sneered, but the proof was undeniable. People healed faster, not by potions or miracles, but by the quiet power of belief. Coué tapped into a truth the Stoics knew centuries before. Seneca wrote, "We suffer more in imagination than in reality," while Epictetus urged, "It's not what happens to you, but how you perceive it that matters." The subconscious doesn't debate, it drinks in what you offer, whether poison or nectar. How do you offer nectar? Begin with intention, soft as a seed pressed into earth. Each night as you drift toward sleep, when the veil between worlds thins and the subconscious listens closest, speak a truth you long to embody. I am calm. I am resilient. I am enough. Don't just speak. See it. Picture yourself standing tall, unshaken, radiant as the sun on a still sea. Feel the warmth of that vision, the weight of its promise. This isn't whimsy, it's science and spirit entwined. Neuroplasticity shows the brain rewires itself with repetition, new pathways forming like roots beneath frost. The mystics called it prayer, the poets called it vision. Whatever you name it, know this: every word you whisper, every image you hold is a seed. Plant it daily and watch the thorns of old beliefs wither as new blooms rise. Lao Tzu's words linger here. Nature does not hurry, yet everything is accomplished. Be patient. The harvest comes. Yet planting alone won't carry you home. The third step is surrender, riding the river of the unseen. This might jar you. After lighting the shadows and sowing new seeds, why release the reins? Because the subconscious isn't a tool to master, it's a current to join. Jung's warning echoes. What you resist not only persists but will grow in size. Think of a nightmare where you flee a faceless pursuer. The harder you run, the heavier its tread. But when you turn, when you yield, it dissolves into mist. Surrender isn't defeat, it's alignment, a dance with the tide. Let's step into the crucible of history. In 1942, Viktor Frankl sat shivering in Auschwitz, a man stripped bare, his family gone, his freedom a memory, his name replaced by a number. Yet he endured, not by clawing against his cage, but by surrendering to a purpose within it. In Man's Search for Meaning, he wrote, "When we are no longer able to change a situation, we are challenged to change ourselves." Amid the ash and despair, Frankl's subconscious became his sanctuary. He saw himself lecturing again, loving again, breathing free air. That surrender wasn't weakness, it was a forge, tempering his spirit into steel. Now bring this closer. In 1969, a young woman named Louise Hay sat in a New York church basement, grappling with a cancer diagnosis that doctors called hopeless. Instead of fighting, she surrendered, not to death, but to healing. She spoke affirmations, visualized light flooding her body, and let go of the rage she'd carried since childhood. Against all odds, she lived. Hay later wrote, "The point of power is always in the present moment." Her subconscious didn't bend to force, it flowed with trust. How do you flow? Stop warring with your fears. Sit with them, as you would a weary traveler at your hearth. Feel their shape without shoving them away. Ask, what lesson do you bear? That ache of insecurity. Maybe it's not a flaw, but a compass, guiding you toward what you've ignored. This is the alchemy of legend. Medieval alchemists sought to transmute lead into gold, but their true quest was inner, turning chaos into clarity, base instinct into wisdom. Your subconscious is that alembic. Release resistance and it becomes your teacher, your guide, your river. Let's gather these threads into a whole. Awareness unveils the forest, shining light where shadows reign. Reprogramming tills the soil, planting seeds of renewal. Surrender waters them with trust, letting the river run its course. Together, they awaken a subconscious so mighty it doesn't just reflect your world, it reshapes it. Pause here. How often do you trip over patterns you didn't weave, anger that flares unbidden, dreams you chase yet abandon? What might bloom if you turned inward with courage? The poet Rainer Maria Rilke wrote, "Perhaps all the dragons in our lives are princesses who are only waiting to see us act, just once, with beauty and courage." Your dragons dwell in your subconscious. Face them, and they transform. This journey spans eras. The oracle at Delphi carved "Know thyself" into eternity, a call reverberating through time. Pythagoras saw the mind as a cosmos to harmonize, Plato as a cave to escape. Freud and Jung plumbed its depths, while today's neuroscientists trace its circuits with wonder. In 1609, Galileo tilted his telescope skyward and remade the heavens. You, tilting inward, can remake yourself. From the Bhagavad Gita's counsel to master the mind, to the Buddhist path of mindfulness, the message endures. The greatest voyage isn't across oceans, it's within. True transformation ignites where awareness dawns. The power to rewrite your reality isn't a far-off dream. It's here, now, in the stillness of this moment. These 3 steps, awareness, reprogramming, surrender, are your lanterns, your seeds, your river. They don't promise instant miracles. They offer a sacred practice, a path unfolding with each breath. Every thought you nurture, every fear you release, ripples through that hidden tide, touching shores you've yet to see. What whispers in your subconscious? Have you felt its nudge, a premonition that proved true, a dream that shifted your sight, a moment when the world aligned in ways you can't explain? Share your story below. Your voice might be the key that unlocks another's awakening. If this odyssey stirs you, subscribe and join us. We're wanderers of the unseen, seekers of the profound, bound by a shared quest. Until next time, heed that quiet current within. It's been calling you home since the stars were young.